What's up, everybody? Thank you again for tuning in to another one of my videos. We have the trunk light swap coming up today. Please do consider hitting that subscribe button, give the video a like, and maybe hit the notification bell. I started off by ordering a pack of 10 of these LED lights from Amazon. They are 31 millimeter for the trunk light. The glove box is actually a 36 millimeter, so I guess I have 9 extra bulbs to use for something else. That little piece that you see at the top there, that actually came out of the trunk. I'll show you how I actually took that out later on in the video. So it is quite difficult to actually take apart right here, as you'll see. I would recommend having 2 pretty small flatheads. I have like a precision tool kit. I just use those. There's 4 pieces that you have to sort of pay attention to. The 2 front parts are not clips, but they're sort of designed so that they don't come out easily. So I just kind of loosened them up a little bit with the flathead there, as you can see. And then there's 2 top parts which are clips. So you just have to make sure you indent those in with the flathead. I had to use 2 I tried to use 2 at least, because I thought it'd make it easier. But it turns out I just had to unclip the one side and then unclip the other, and it just popped right out. Full disclaimer, this is after I had done this a few times, so my first time took me about 10 minutes to figure out how to take it apart, which sounds a little silly, but I guess if you do try this, you'll see why. But after you loosen up all 3 ends, the 4th end I'm working on right now, it should just pop out. So I'll just be pulling it out here in just a moment, and then that's when you see the factory light that came with it. It's pretty easy to take out. That kind of bronze coppery end just gets pushed down and light bulb pops right out. The replacement ones maybe is about 1 millimeter longer than the one that came with the actual car. So I did have a little bit of difficulty getting it put back in place. And make sure that the actual LED portion is facing the clear plastic side, and the heat sink will be facing up towards the black plastic. That way, of course, when you open your trunk, you get the right direction of light. So here I'm just fast forwarding a little bit of the struggles I had doing this portion here, just because the light is a little bit bigger than I had anticipated. Even though the actual Amazon ad said 31, the packaging says 31, it definitely didn't feel that way. But once I got it in place, I just made sure to position the heat sink upwards and the LEDs downwards. And as you can see there, it's not fully straight, but it's definitely not going anywhere. It's pretty tight. So all that's left to do is make sure that you just replace that black portion, that sort of lid, back on there. And then once that's all done, you'll be ready to move on to the trunk. So once I was ready to put the lid back on, those 2 first pieces that are like the non-clip parts, I found out the difficult way that those actually have to go in first. So just kind of angled the piece, pushed those in, and then once you've done that, and I had to sort of pry them in place. But once you've done that, the top portions just click in pretty easily. This little piece is pretty durable, I found out, so I wasn't hesitant to use a little bit of force with it. So if you think you're using too much force, you're probably okay. It seems to be pretty strong piece, I guess, that they included. Alright, so here I'm ready to move on to the trunk and actually show you how I put it back in. There's 2 prongs on the side of the actual enclosure there. They're pretty dummy proof. One goes in each direction, so you can only actually place it back into the little socket one way. So once I placed it in place, I could already see that the light was working, which is really good. So I just went ahead and made sure I tightened it up. The actual piece goes in one way. There's these little hooks on the end that I'm putting in right now. And then once they're hooked in, you push it up and it clips in the other side. So I'll show you actually how I took it off to begin with. So I used the same precision little flathead. I pushed in on the one clip side, and then you actually push in and pry, and it will pop off from that side, and then you can just pull it out. So of course, as always, These little clips are not easy to take off multiple times, but once you've done it once or twice, it does get a lot easier. So as you can see there, it just pops right out. I'm going to show just a different angle, just because this one, when I was filming, I didn't notice how far away it was. So here's a different angle here. So I just pushed the little flathead in and pushed, and it popped right out. And then the hook pieces go back in, push it right back up, and you are all done. So it is pretty bright at night. I will maybe show it in another video just as a recap of all the different lights that I've done. So please do watch one of my other videos and hit that subscribe button.